Hey, Rob Bowser, Anti-Method Golf, and today I wanted to walk kind of through the difference between a chip shot and a pitch shot, and in this video and also in the accompanying article on antimethodgolf.com. But just kind of how I think of it and how I think it's helpful to think about kind of short game in general. So when I say that, I'm saying shots within, let's say, 30 or 40 yards from the green. And so kind of high level, I look at it and I go, good players, competent golfers need to have two shots. They need to be able to hit a low shot, like a low running type of a shot, which I would also call a chip, and they need to be able to hit a high shot, which I would call a pitch. And then for really good golfers, 10 handicap and below, they need a third shot probably, which would be what many people refer to as a lob shot. We call it kind of a cut lob shot here to give people, to use the name to help people get a sense of what they're trying to do with the club head through impact. But I just want to walk through it. And so as you look at the screen, we've got a chip shot on the left-hand side. And so to me, a chip shot here in the United States at most golf courses that aren't link-style courses and aren't firm courses is probably played with a sand wedge, let's call it 80 to 90% of the time, and the rest of the time you need one other club that you can hit a lower shot that's going to release out further or roll out further when it lands. That club could be a 9-iron or that club could be a pitching wedge. So on the right side of our screen, we've got a pitch shot, which I think of as a high shot. So you pitch when you have an uphill type shot, when you have to carry rough, when you have to hit the ball over a bunker, or when you don't have much green to work with. So when the ball lands, we can't afford for it to roll out 30 or 40 feet. That to me is a pitch shot. So as we go through this, I just want to talk about the differences in technique. And the majority of the differences between hitting a ball high and hitting a ball low is in your setup. So on the left-hand side, I'm set up to hit what I would call a low shot. Call it what you want, a chip, but it's going to go low. When it hits the ground, it's going to skip and hopefully release a little bit back to the hole. So this is a shot I would use anywhere from 3 paces off the green to 20 paces off the green. It just depends how much I want the ball to skip and release when it lands. So here in my address, the majority of my weight is in my front leg. So like 90% is in the front leg. And I want the shaft to be leaning forward. So that shaft leaning forward, it takes loft off of the golf club. In addition to that, on what I would call a low shot, I'm not opening the blade at all. The face is square and I'm leaning the shaft forward. That's going to help me to keep the ball down. The shaft leaning forward is going to help me to hit more down on the golf ball through impact. So all these variables are steepening variables. Weight forward, ball back, shaft leaning forward. Those are all going to create a steeper or a sharper angle of attack. Not because of something I'm trying to do in my swing, but because of how I've set up. Over here on the right side of the screen, this is a pitch shot. So I've got the blade slightly open. The ball position is more forward. The shaft is still leaning forward. You're never going to lean the shaft backwards where the shaft would be laying kind of like this on a short game shot, but it's not leaning forward as much as the low shot here on the left. And the blade of the club is a little bit open. My weight is more, let's call it 60-40 on my feet. 50-50 works. I'd be careful if you start to get real heavy in your back foot. If you're going to put a lot of weight in your back foot to help shallow out the bottom of your swing, you first off need to be pretty good, and the second thing, you need to have a pretty decent lie. So this is kind of my high shot here on the right, and we'll just let it kind of play through, and we'll start with the chip shot. And just from a what I'm trying to do psychologically, or how I think about it for students, when you hit this shot, you want to envision like you're trying to hit it underneath something. So like underneath a limb, or underneath a picnic table, or a bench, where you want that ball to flight low. So when I think about hitting it low, my hands are quite a bit ahead. There's a lot of shaft lean forward at impact, and I don't really ever want the shaft on a low shot to get past my left arm, my left forearm. So on that shot, there's definitely rotation through. So this shot wouldn't be just off the edge of the green. This would probably be 10 10 yards or so off the green where I'm trying to hit a low shot to a back flag. Just let it play through one more time in slow motion. So there's definitely some wrist hinge in the backswing, and then you maintain that wrist hinge on the forward swing. So I'm not locked up. There's some swing or some flow in the backswing. There's some rotation in the forward swing. My back foot, my trail foot as I go through isn't flat on the ground. Okay, so then we go to a pitch shot, a higher, softer shot. Play it in slow motion a few times. So the face is more open, the ball's more forward, and through impact, there's not as much forward shaft lean. So hopefully you can see the difference there. So when the shaft's leaning forward with a square face, that's going to produce a flatter or a lower trajectory. When the shaft is getting more neutral with the face more open, that ball is going to launch off the face higher. Two big variables as far as kind of my impact position that's affecting this is the amount of shaft lean and the angle of the club face. And still kind of that turn through where sternum faces the target, my eyes face the target, they're not stuck in the ground. Okay, so to me, those are the two shots that you need to develop, and I would first develop them with the sand wedge. I'd learn how to hit it kind of a ball a little bit back in my stance, and I don't ever really like to see the ball back behind that trail foot where somebody just plays the ball way back here. I just think long term it's a bad habit to get into. So it's slightly behind middle, weight forward, shaft forward, and just practice hitting some lower flighted shots. Visualize that face as it strikes the ball, trying to take loft off the face, not add loft to the face. And that's done here through the wrists. Here the face is more open. It's more open when it strikes the ball for the high soft shot. Okay, so then the third shot that we talked about. So this would be kind of what we call a cut lob shot, all right? And so on a cut lob shot, I need a relatively decent lie. The ball's going to be the most forward, and the shaft is going to be the most, let's call it vertical or most neutral. Again, not leaning back, and the blade's laid quite a bit open. My weighted address is even from right foot to left foot, and so as I hit this shot, the club head pretty much catches my hands at the bottom, and the face is open. And the face kind of remains open through impact. So this is our third shot, the cut lob shot. And so this is, definitely more of an advanced shot. Once you get the other two down, I would go for the cut lob, and this would be our kind of our highest shot. So again, it's going to go the highest because the face is the most open and the shaft is the most vertical. So it's going to have a shallow bottom with an open face, so we're not taking a divot here, we're brushing the turf with an open club face, and the ball's going to go high into the air. One of the things valuable about kind of referring to it as a cut lob, here's the way I think of it, and this is, I'm not saying that this is perfect, but it helps me. The more I open the face, the more I point the face to the right, so the more at address the face is going that way, the more my swing has got to go that way through impact to offset the openness of the face. So this is not a shot where you can afford to be going down the line or chasing after the ball. It's a cut shot. The club is cutting across the golf ball. So the blade is open and my hands and everything are cutting across to the left. So if there were a ball there, the ball would go this way, and the club head path through impact would go that way. The club head path would be going across to the left. And you can see there's no face rotation here with the blade. The blade of the club, or the grooves of the club, are facing more towards the sky. Sternum eyes out of the ground towards the target. So cut lob, this is the advanced version, the advanced shot. And of the good players, the really good players, the tour players that I've been around, you know, they don't have 72 shots around the green. You know, in their brain, it's very simple. In the U.S., they probably use one club for 90% of those shots, and they've got kind of a low shot, what I'd call a stock kind of pitch shot with a sand wedge, and then they've got some form of a high shot that they use, like a cut lob shot here. So again, the face is open, but the swing path is a cut across, really where those arms, you can see how soft and how tight those arms are with the face open. That's going to help you to produce a nice high, soft shot. Okay, thanks. Rob Bowser, AntiMethodGolf.com.